Hi, and welcome to another virtual creative talk from the PumpHouse. My guest today did some of her growing up in Fiji and developed a love for tropical scents as a result. She studied law at Auckland University whilst paying $61 a week for a room with no window. A winner of the US Green Card Lottery, which also resulted in the prize of a now husband of 17 years. She's a mum to two, a sometime catwalk model, and a champion of the not-for-profit sector since volunteering at the then People's Centre, and now is one of the PumpHouse Theatre's hard-working board. Please welcome Emma Poyner. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Megs. Thank you. Hi, everyone else.
So we'll come to the modelling in a bit, but tell me, what got you interested in the performing arts?
First of all, if I can just digress for a moment, I did want to acknowledge all of the mahi of the PumpHouse people, yourself included.
Thank you.
Over the last, what seems like a long time during lockdown, but also with the other not-for-profit organisations, because you and I have both been involved in watching webinars and that sort of thing, and you can see the effort people are putting in to make things keep going, and I just wanted to acknowledge that for everyone that's doing their very best. My beginnings in the performing arts started when I was 7, and I was at primary school, and my teacher had asked everyone to prepare a poem to recite. I was a very shy, small, young 7-year-old, and when I stood up to recite my poem, the teacher said to me something along the lines of, "Nobody's ever going to pay any attention to you, Emma, if you have a squeaky voice that no one can ever hear." And I was devastated. I went home and I cried my eyes out. And at that time, my father was working with Alan Dumpleton at Air New Zealand, and Alan and Carol Dumpleton had Shoreside Theatre. So my father asked, did I want to get involved in Shoreside Theatre? So that's how it all happened.
Cool.
And I kept doing it for a long time, and speech and drama as well. So, yes, it's been a part of my life for a long time.
So you proved the teacher wrong.
Yes.
I'm always glad to hear that. As an ex-teacher, I'm always glad to hear when teachers are proved wrong.
Oh, yes.
Good stuff. So what was your first involvement with the PumpHouse?
I performed at the PumpHouse when I was very young with Shoreside Theatre. And then my last performance was 2001. I was one of the murderers in Macbeth, which was fantastic. Carol Dumpleton directed that, and there was myself as murderer number 2, and murderer number 1 was a very tall, muscular gentleman, Brett Ehaka, who was, I think, ex-Navy. So we were chalk and cheese. He was big and strong, and I was very small and not strong. And we had to rub mud all over our faces and arms to look the part. And it was so much fun. That was, that's the last time I've acted at the PumpHouse. Getting involved with the board happened in 2008. And I was working at a law firm then. I was pregnant with my second child, and one of the partners knew I was very passionate about the PumpHouse, and they needed some legal advice for restructuring, and asked if I would like to do that pro bono, and I said yes. So I did, and after the restructuring was completed, I was asked if I wanted to join the board. So I've been there since then in various capacities.
So what does it mean to be a member of the board?
For most boards, it means attending your meetings, which can be monthly or every 2 months or quarterly, depending on the needs of your organisation. For the PumpHouse board, we meet at the moment, we're meeting more regularly because of COVID-19, although not in person. But you have your reports from your treasurer, you look through the financial reports, you have your report from your general manager or whoever the senior executive might be, and you go through those reports. You have your strategic plan and your budget, and you track how your organisation is performing against the budget and the strategic plan. So you're at a higher level than the day-to-day operational things, and you're not supposed to get involved in the day-to-day operational things. Although with things like COVID-19, that might be different for some organisations. So that's essentially what a board does, that high-level monitoring, support and strategic direction.
There's a lot of big words there, like strategic and high level. So what makes a person want to be a trustee, or how do you go about being a trustee?
You can, if you are particularly interested in joining a board, then by all means approach that organisation and express your interest. My involvement with the PumpHouse came about through doing a bit of work with the PumpHouse first. That's a great way to get involved with a board. You could do a piece of project work. You could become an advisor for a certain length of time before you do the official commitment to becoming a trustee or a director or whatever the legal structure might require. I have, with a different organisation, which is not in the performing arts field, I was particularly interested in being involved with that board. So I looked them up on the internet. I found out who some of their members were, and I contacted a board member and said, I'm really interested. Can I come and talk to someone? And that's how that started. I'd really like to see more people be proactive about expressing their interest in joining boards, because boards need so many different types of skills and talents. Yes, you need your accountants. Yes, having a lawyer is helpful, marketing person, a technology person, all those sorts of things. And you also need people who have great connections. So those connections might be someone who teaches te reo at a local school, but they're very well connected within the local Māori community. They might want to come and join a board. A person might be well connected in a Korean community. They too might want to come to a board. So you just take that proactive step and express your interest. And if you haven't been on a board before, there are so many excellent resources out there that the board itself will point you to, or you can look up yourself. And those resources are from reputable sources, charity services. The Institute of Directors has free information. Organisations like ANCAD have fantastic governance learning modules. So you can get out there and inform yourself, or do it as you're joining the board. Sometimes baptism by fire is the best way to do it.
Yeah. And age isn't a limit, because people tend to look at boards as being the most senior end of our community.
Yes. Well, when I first became involved with the PumpHouse board, I was 36. So some people might think that young. So 12 years later, here I'm still learning. I love learning new things. So I think that a youth perspective is another perspective that a board can utilise to serve whatever your community might be. And it doesn't have to be youth either. Seniors have a perspective that could be very valuable to the community that you serve. So be persistent, and if that's what you want to do, inform yourself and approach who you want to be involved with.
That sounds like a really good idea, and people who might be tuning in, who might be thinking, I'd like to be a board member, but I'm not sure. Your message is very clear. Get involved.
Yes. And organised boards, they'll have some sort of induction process. So they will tell you, this is what our constitution is, or our rules. These are our charitable objectives. This is what our agenda looks like. This is our current strategic plan. This is how we monitor it. The treasurer will take you under their wing and say, these are what our financial reports look like. This is what this means. And if you're anything like me, you ask questions, and I'm forever saying, I have a dumb question to ask, but I need to ask it. And usually dumb questions aren't that dumb.
Yeah.
And you learn. So a good board will induct you and will emphasize professional development as you're going along, because everybody should always have continuous learning.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you're with the PumpHouse. Your other board, is that a not-for-profit as well? Is that a not?
Yes.
So
I'm involved with one other board, and I was involved with a third for a number of years, but that one I'm no longer involved with them. So yes, I've had a bit of experience out and about with different organisations, but they've all been not-for-profits.
Yeah. And that's a very big movement here in New Zealand, isn't it?
It's a massive movement. And the interesting thing I've noticed is that very slowly, the not-for-profit governance profile is being raised and is gaining a bit more respect, I think, from the private sector governance people, because not-for-profit, you're operating on the smell of an oily rag. Your measurements are not just financial, you're measuring your impact on your community, which isn't always an easy thing to do. So that requires some commitment and good thinking behind it. So it's I don't think, my personal opinion, it's not easier than a private governance setup.
I wouldn't think it would be. To my mind, it would be much harder, because you're giving your time and your energy.
Yes.
Which is something we're very grateful for. So has the lockdown affected the way that both your boards have worked?
Well, we haven't had the face-to-face meetings. I think the boards that I'm on are very fortunate because they have very strong structures to start with. So we have good people with the right skills and the right experience on the boards. So we've kept up the communication. It's become more regular than what it used to be as we're getting more updates. We've kept up professional development opportunities. So, several board members like myself, and I've seen you attending them too, we've attended various webinars on helping get through this period. Right at the beginning, several of us attended a business continuity webinar, which had fantastic tools. And these tools were shared with general managers or senior executives. So that's been something not entirely new, but the volume of it perhaps has been a little bit new. More regular financial information has been coming and going, as well as the updates, the COVID-19 updates. Things like this is new. I've never done anything like this before. But in a way, it's not that things have changed so much, but they've just ramped up a little bit more, if you like. Yes.
So do you have any thoughts about moving forward as a a not-for-profit? What have you had any bright ideas that you think might?
Yes, I think that it's really good to get back to basics, because the future looks uncertain for many organisations, and we're all doing the best that we can. So you need good people around you to help make informed decisions. So by getting back to basics, I mean, have you got the right people on your board? Are you getting the right information? Are you keeping track of it? If you haven't, it's not a situation of do the best you have or do nothing. If you haven't, I think now is the time to reach out and say, actually, we need to go and get someone in this particular area and get some advice. I think if boards are feeling that way, by all means, go to the Law Society, say you want someone to help you with some pro bono work. Go to the Chartered Accountants Institute, say you'd like someone to give you some pro bono assistance with financial modelling. Go to the Marketing Association, they might have someone who will give you pro bono advice on how to modify your marketing approach. Do you need technology assistance? Go to the Software Association or other, there are so many organisations out there with very talented people who are ready to give and help organisations through this time, and you just need to ask. And that would be if as a board you're feeling that you don't have enough information or you don't have the right people, go out there and get it. That would be my advice.
Yeah. And knowing that there are places that you can go to.
Absolutely, yes. I talk to the charity services. They do a wonderful job. Community Net Aotearoa, they have fantastic resources too. So the information is out there and it's good information, and there are good people who will help you if you need it.
Great. What are you most looking forward to coming out of lockdown?
I'm missing the buzz of going to a group event. So I'm missing that critical mass feeling you get when you walk into a theatre, like the audience, and that anticipation of a group of people waiting for the event to unfold. So I'm missing that, but I that's going to take a while before that's going to get back to what it was. And we might have to adjust our thinking about that.
So just getting back out there and back amongst the people.
The other thing I've been missing is I have a mountain bike and I do bush walks with my mountain bike. And I haven't been able to do that because the tracks are too narrow. So you couldn't get the 2 metre distance, and we weren't allowed to do it in lockdown. But I've been missing that, and I'm looking forward to getting out there with a little bit of mud and just, it makes me feel good to do that.
Yeah, and we all need that letting off steam.
Yes.
So right at the very beginning, I mentioned that you were a model. Would you like to tell us about that?
I don't know if I'd call it a model, really. I was doing some friends of a friend a favour. So the friends of a friend owned a skateboarding and surfing shop in Simon Street, and I can't recall the name of the store now. One of the brands they stocked it's called Etnies, which is a skateboard shoe, so they're flat. And at that time, Etnies had released a new range, and the logo was Etnies, wear nothing else. Which is a fantastic logo, very simple and very catchy. So these friends decided they wanted to put on a show of what they had on in store, including Etnies clothing and including the shoes, and asked me if I would do it. I need to add here that I was in my young 20s. This is a long time ago. No. A very long time ago. So I did it, but at that point I had very long henna red hair, so that was strategically placed.
Right.
And I had a very large bouquet of flowers, which was also strategically placed. I was kind of going for the Ophelia look.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so off I went. So it was just the one walk up and down. The rest of it was all with clothing. And I've never done anything like it since.
Oh, I think one of the we'll have to have a fashion show at the PumpHouse and put your name down. But
we have had a fashion show at the PumpHouse, but no, I'm not doing that.
Oh. Strange times now. We're in strange times.
Yes. Yeah. It was great, actually. So yes.
I like delving into people's lives and finding out their dark secrets.
Yes.
So that's out in the open.
That's out in the open.
That's out in the open. So, do you have a favourite PumpHouse memory or a favourite time that you recall?
I have many because I've been doing things with the PumpHouse for 41 years now. And isn't that crazy? Since I was 7. So I'll run you through a few, and you stop me when I take too much time. The Tim Bray production of The Whale Rider.
Right.
The moment that the puppet, I think they were cane. I can't remember. They looked like cane. So the whales were woven puppets, and when they came out, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. It was just a beautiful moment. That was amazing. I went to see Tad Pole's production of The Pink Hammer.
Yes.
And I went with a girlfriend of mine, and Louise Wallace made this hilarious joke to do with being a middle-aged woman. And my friend and I I giggled a lot, my friend snorted a lot. And it was really funny. It was one of those moments in time where the dialogue on stage was exactly on point with where we were at. And that was fantastic. Rob Makaraka's Shop Bro, that I've never been, because after the production there was the korero about what the topic, and I'd never been to anything like that before, so that was quite eye-opening for me. And then Madeline Sami, she did her number 2 play. This is a long time ago. It was a solo performance that blew me away. It was amazing. And then I get quite the Multicultural Society performance out in the amphitheatre, that I really enjoy that. I don't get to see a lot of things, but the ones that I do see make me feel very proud of what the PumpHouse does for the wider community, and such a diverse community. It's amazing. So those are some of the highlights.
And some very, very nice ones as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you for talking to me and revealing your secrets, but also the information you gave about being a trustee. And hopefully people viewing this will be encouraged to come along and put themselves forward, not just for the PumpHouse, but all the other not-for-profits that are out there.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I hope so too. That would be great if people did that. And if anyone has any questions about it, please just let me know somehow or other through you, and I can definitely do that.
Certainly, we'll certainly put people in touch. Thank you
very much. Thanks, Megs.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.